Welcome back. Well, that's the STX Nifty. It's up about 14 points. We have Mitessh Thakkar and Kush Bohra now joining us for some technical advice. Gentlemen, good morning. Mitessh, you have been constructive on the market with the view that dips have to be bought. That trade is playing out, but at high level they're selling as well. So how do you approach a market like this incrementally?
Morning, Anuj. I think a very simple answer to that would be to maintain what we have been doing. I think purely because this is a phase wherein after a big rally from 15,000 to 18,000, the market is consolidating and contracting. So the idea is that while the medium term and the longer term picture is positive, the idea is to more, clearly deploy the strategy of buying on dips and being slightly nimble in taking profits. I still believe that 17,400, 420, and we have talked about the 20-day exponential average over there, remains the key support area for the Nifty in the short term, and declines closer to that will be buying opportunities. And 17,750, 800 is a level which I think, on the intraday charts, hourly and 2 hourly charts, is forming an important pivot. So around those levels, you will see some kind of selling happen. And even if we cross that, I think the next rally, the next level around 17,950, 18,000 would be difficult for the index to cross in the short term. So buy on declines, but be slightly nimble to take profits on the higher side. Similarly, on the bank Nifty as well, my belief is that closer to about 38,400, 38,500 is your good short-term and immediate level support area. So 38,850 is the first pivot, but if you get a decline closer to about 38,500, I think be aggressive in buying with a 200-point kind of a stop. And on the upside, 39,650, 700 is your first profit booking target, followed by 40,000.
Mitessh, that's a very large range that you're talking about on Bank Nifty, and I can understand that's where perhaps the logical stops would be. So what's your advice then? Perhaps reduce position sizing if you're trading these contours?
On the Bank Nifty, I agree. I think the range which I got is slightly on the larger side, but also is the fact that the Bank Nifty is a very volatile index. For example, on the 23rd of August, we got a low of 37,950, and on the 29th of August, we again got a low of around 37,943. So we have been hitting those levels, sometimes due to gap down, which happens due to events in US market. So broadly, I think the volatility indicators for the Bank Nifty are slightly more aggressive than the Nifty one. So that's why I've given a slightly bigger range over here. But yes, I think as I mentioned, the first support area is 38,850, but aggressive buying should be done closer to 38,500 levels.
All right, Kush Bohra is also joining us on the show. Kush, the 20-day moving average has been held up until now, although it's been tested a couple of times. Do you think that it could hold as a support for the index, and what are the stocks to look at today?
Sure. First up, Sonia, thank you for having me on the show. Well, it looks like it will hold, but if we take a slightly broader view, there are two camps at play here. The first one that believes that this rally is not sustainable, and it's understandable, because if you compare the average daily turnover from Jan to May with the average daily turnover of June, July, and August when the rally started, those turnovers are down by 20%. So some would believe that this is a low volume rally that's taken place. The other camp is that the FII buying has only been a fraction of what they've sold over the last year or so, and we came fairly close to all-time highs. Now, I personally fall in the second camp, where I believe that this outperformance of the Indian markets would continue. For now, I would also like to give a broad range, which is 17,200 and 17,800 on the Nifty, and 38,400 and 39,800 on the Bank Nifty, because the market's been in this range, very volatile, but still in a broadish range. Once we break out of either of these ranges on the indices, will we get a clearer direction? The other data point is WIX. Keep your eye out on WIX. If it crosses 20 and sustains, the markets could see a bit of a downside. On the stock-specific action, PSU banks have been a major contributor to the Bank Nifty rally, and SBI would lead the way going forward. So buy on SBI with a target of 550 and a stop loss of 520. Paper stocks have been in focus again with the price hikes, and JK Paper, being the leader, has done its bit. It's corrected also a little, and this is creating good entry opportunity. JK Paper is a buy for a target of 440, and here the stop loss would be 418.
Got it. Mitessh, what about your stock calls?
So I have more of buy calls today. Anuj, Bharat Forge, I think, has done a correction and is now bouncing back. That's a buy with a stop at 739 for a short-term target of 775. Similar setup on Navin Fluorine. That's a buy with a stop below 42.85 for targets of 44.20. And Pidilite was a recommendation earlier as well. Now can be bought afresh with a stop below 2,800 for targets of 28.65.
Okay.
On the sell side is Sun Pharma. Keep a stop at 882. Look for targets of 844.
I think Pidilite was your BTST call as well yesterday, right, Mitessh?
Yeah. Multiple times, so I think.
Yeah. Multi-year breakout, right? I think it's at lifetime high.
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, that's been a very strong stock. Crude's decline obviously has helped. But a phenomenal stock, I think, in the league of Asian Paints, just keeps making new highs.
Oh, keeps making new highs in the league of perhaps Page Industries as well. These are some stocks, the concept stocks that have been doing exceptionally well over the years, and nothing stops them.
Absolutely.
Despite all the market challenges. Let's do one thing. Let's take a quick break. The pre-opening rates coming through. Also, we'll discuss the auto stocks. There are some big trends in the auto sector that we're going to talk about. Vasudev Banerjee of ICICI Securities will analyze the numbers for us.